Hello guys. So today I have a very exciting video to share with you. Um, a little bit different to what I normally do, still in the vein of writing and publishing. But I think you might have seen on my most previous video that I'm going to Yalc next month as an author for the first time. I was so excited. I think I only shared the video a couple of days ago, talking about how excited I am to finally be involved in this event, this book convention that I've been going to for years as an author. If you don't know my books, or you haven't, if you're new to the channel, then I have two books. Steel Princess, which is my slightly futuristic pirate fantasy, with robots and a giant robot kingdom and a robot queen, evil robot queen. And then I have The Girl Behind the Glass, which is a dark retelling of Snow White. Steel Princess is my first book, and I also don't have a physical copy yet. However, I have book 2 coming very soon, which is going to be called Songbird Air. So I'm very, very excited about my next release, which is very, very close to being out. I'm only waiting on my full version of my artwork for that book. But today I am going to be in conversation with two lovely authors that I'm going to be sharing my day with at Yalc next month. First of all, we have Roxan Burley, and she is the author of the dystopian series, the Equal Rise series, which is set in London. And then we have Maclaren, who is the author of Venom and Blaze. And I think there is a sequel that follows as well. So we will learn a little bit more about their books and my books, and we'll all just generally have a little bit of a chit chat talking about, our books and our publishing journeys and all things inspiration. And yeah, we get to learn lots of fun stuff about us before hopefully meeting us at Yalc. So I really, really hope you enjoy this slightly different video.
Then
Hi guys. So we're here. We are all going to be at Yalc together. So we have Roxanne Burley. I'm really sorry if I call you Roxy. I have another author friend that I sometimes it's called Roxy, and yeah, so
Roxy's fine
and
with me, April.
yeah, and then we have Rose Maclaren. If she show her face. Yeah, so we're all fantasy authors, and we just thought we'd all have a little bit of a chit chat about our books, ready for the event. So if anyone comes up on to see us at Inspiring Indies, then you might have met us already through this. Shall I first ask the first question?
Yeah.
So my question was for you, Roxanne, but Roz, you can answer it as well. I was going to say, what is your biggest inspiration behind your Equal Rise series?
My biggest inspiration, I think, is its backdrop of where it's set, because unlike other fantasies, mine is based in the real world. So it's based in London.
Yeah,
So it takes on a world we know, but then it has these influences of these creatures and this magic system that's hidden in the background. So that's my biggest
okay.
influence.
So it's a little bit familiar, but a little bit
Bit different. Yeah.
different as well. Yeah, that sounds really good. What about you, Roz? What's the inspiration behind your books? Have you got a little bit of romance in yours?
Not really. I'm honestly not sure where the inspiration for these books came from, because I was just looking through random notes in my phone that I'd written years ago and put two together and then made a series out of it somehow. So it's a very boring answer, just digging through old notes. What about
Sometimes
your
it happens
series?
like
'Cause I did a little bit of a stalk on your website, and I love the sound of your series.
that. Thanks. Yeah, I've got two series. So, um,
Oh,
my
it
first
was
one,
the Princess one.
Still
That
Princess.
is, that looks so cool.
Thank you. I think I actually wrote this when I was a teenager, but it was like a bit like what you said, Roxanne, where it was kind of set in our world, but with a little bit of a different touch to it. But now it's kind of its own fantasy in a fantasy world. So we wrote it during COVID or during all the
Wow.
lockdown and everything, and made it a fantasy world. So it's basically it was set as a basically she's like a princess, but she's a kind of robot, but she's learned to imitate human emotion. So I still had that when I wrote it when I was a teenager, but it was set in like I think I said it in like Cornwall or something at the time. But now it's in like a fantasy world. So I think I was reading a lot of fantasy and I decided to do it that way.
Cool. Sounds really, really interesting, April.
Thank you.
Super chat. Can
Okay.
I ask a question? So
Yeah,
one of
go
my
for it.
questions is, if you were to meet one of your characters from your book, who would it be and why? So April, do you want to answer that one first?
Oh, probably because I have a little bit of a pirate adventure in this one. So I think I'd kind of like to go off on the pirate adventure and meet them, or but I'd also be quite scared because they can be quite brutal. But yeah, just kind of like going off into the worlds, I think would be really fun.
Is there one character in particular that you would like sort of to meet on that adventure then?
Yeah, so
Or
there's a like a pirate captain called Adelia, and book two is very, very close to coming out, and she's gonna have her own like POV in book two, but she kind of I guess stuck out to me in book one.
amazing. Same question to you, Roz.
I was kind of thinking the same as April there. Most of my characters are really violent and murderous. I don't think I'd be safe with any of them.
Yeah, it's like when you make these big scary worlds, can you really would you fit into them
Step
very
into
easily or
them.
not?
Yeah.
What about you, Roxanne?
So my book is written from three sort of main characters' points of view, and Oren, who's my gargoyle in it, I would absolutely love to meet because he's, like I said, a really complex character that's quite. He comes across as violent, but he's not. He's got this real sort of soft side, caring side, and yeah, I'd love to meet him in real life, like just to meet him, I think.
Sounds good. It's hard when you go and meet off like a big fantasy character and you're like, what would they be like if you actually saw them in person?
Yeah, well, my characters have become so integral with part of, I think, how my life. I mean, even like my daughters know their names and their descriptions and that.
Yeah.
It's yeah, because my books are very character driven, so I've worked very hard on like
Yeah.
the character development, all their backstories, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I saw all your lovely character art or all your different artwork from behind all your
So
worlds and characters.
I'm a designer by trade, so that's why, because I
Um,
designed my book cover myself, so that's why it's I enjoy that part, so I can really visualize them when I sort of create the artwork. That really helps in the writing as such.
yeah, so guys, go and check out her Instagram, Roxanne Burley. She's got some cool artwork.
Thank you. Did you have a question, Roz?
Yeah, I have lots of questions, but they're all kind of bland.
That's fine. We can
Fine,
make them
go
work.
ahead.
So one of my ones was really generic. What's your favorite comfort TV show? And obviously, that's open to both of you.
Um, Mine probably Bridgerton, but it's it comes around once a year and then you binge it straight away and then it's gone. And also Emily in Paris is another one.
Yeah. Oh, I would probably have to go for a Marvel one. I quite like what did I watch? The Loki one. I quite enjoyed that, what I
Oh
watched
yeah.
recently. I do tend to go towards the fantasy, watching them on demand. Or we've watched some nice Star Wars ones recently, like the
Oh yeah.
oh, I've forgotten what his name is. It's gone from my brain. Yeah, anything like that, I'm afraid. Read fantasy and watch fantasy.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh,
What
Mandalorian.
about
There we go. Got it.
yeah. I love fantasy, but I never got into any of the Star Wars, unfortunately. I don't know, I just never really clicked. But whose question are we on? Was it me? Or
Yeah, your
Ross,
turn.
did you answer? Or Ross, what was your favourite comfort show? We should have asked.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about my answers. Probably a sitcom, probably some random British sitcom that just, like My Family, it kind of feels like your own
Oh
dysfunctional
yeah.
family that you kind of know. And
You
it's comfy
relate.
to have them on in the background.
Sounds good. My question. What made you choose to give, oh, this is for you, Roxanne, but you can also relate to it as well, Rose. What made you choose to give, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce her name right. Is it Ira or Ira?
Ira. Ira.
Ira. Um, the role of a doctor, like, because it seemed like you were going on humanity and things like that.
So
So Rose, you can
no,
relate something to
normally in the fantasy genre, all these like the really strong female characters are all assassins or like warriors. I wanted to kind of give her that sort of side where she thought about humanity, she was caring, she didn't want to take a
Yeah,
life. To sort of give just a different take on what is standard in fantasy, I feel. It
yeah,
was just, yeah, just something a bit different. I mean, she's still, she's a real strong, determined character, but she has like a softer side, so she does care first before she sort of goes off battling as such.
yeah. What about you, Rose? What was like the design behind one of your characters, like your main character? Um, like why did you design them the way they are?
So this is, ooh, that's my book cover.
Pretty
I've got
cool.
my face because I've got a background on, so you can't see how untidy my room is. So my main character is a princess, which is about as generic as you can get, really. But she's much more than just. Yeah, but your princess is cool. Yours is made of steel.
So carry on.
Mine just really wants a power struggle, wants to get the throne, and that means getting rid of her dad, however she can do it. So
As you do.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's not very nice, if it helps.
Yeah. I think
So shall I ask another question? One of my questions was, what's your top three tropes of your book?
um probably in both my books, found family, friendships, like close friendships, and I kind of want to say enemies to lovers, but not like heavy on the romanticy side of things, but just there's kind of like different romances that are from Enemy Kingdom, you know what I mean?
What are
Probably
your
the
tropes
closest.
in your book, Roz?
Found family, animal companion, and probably lovers to enemies or enemies to lovers. I like both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Uh, Mine would be found family as well, or chosen family. And then probably acceptance is a big part of mine, like
Oh yeah.
finding out who you are. And then I do have like the fated mates kind of background in mine, as sort of a bit of an undertone on my for fantasy or romance as such.
It sounds like we've all got quite
Like
similar
family.
tropes in our books.
Yeah.
Good. So we'll all meet on the day. We'll all be able to.
Yeah, definitely. Ross, did you have another question?
Yeah, I did. So, do you write on a laptop? Do you write on pen and paper? Do you dictate, or do you do something that I haven't thought of?
That's a really good question, actually, really good. So I'm actually dyslexic, so I find writing a struggle from the beginning. So I've learned a way of I actually write on the notes on my phone, and my phone, gives me the words that I need to, and then once I've done that, I then put it on my laptop and then edit it back. But my phone has probably written, I don't know, about 4 books so far, and I'm more comfortable on that than on a laptop, to be fair.
That's quite good because then you got like, I suppose autocorrect isn't always the best, but it will obviously correct your spellings probably.
Yeah, and it also means like I'm not getting over precious about my what like spellings or
Yeah.
punctuations and that. If there's stuff I don't know, I just would leave it, and then obviously I can. Um, I mean, I've tried speaking, but that just takes longer, I think,
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, how do you write then, April?
I always write by notebook first. I don't know why. I like the feeling of it, and I think it's easier if I want to go to like a cafe or a little nice little spot somewhere. And I also just find that it gets the words out easier. I don't know why. I I've I don't I don't think I'd ever be able to like write on my phone the same as you. I don't know why, but I do like edit and stuff on my laptop. So I usually type it up after I've done like a few chapters or something, and then try and edit more as I go.
And Ross, how
But yeah.
about you? How do you like to write?
I use my laptop. I would get far too distracted to use my phone. I'd just see a notification, be like, "Oh, what's that?" I'll just spend 10 minutes, 10
Yeah.
hours. But yeah, no, I love my laptop for just writing stuff down, and I find it's really helpful for if I want to just take something out and put it up there. It's quite easy
Yeah,
to do.
copy and paste. Super. Did you have another question, April?
I do so. Um, so how does the, if any, how does the romance build up in your books? Yeah. So,
Uh, so
um,
in in mine, it's a real, I think, intense spark to begin with. So my two characters, Ira and Cole, one's human, one's immortal. So you
oh,
have that
cool.
challenges straight away. He's a rebel. She's a doctor. She's basically he becomes one of her patients, and he's got immediate attraction to her. And she takes a bit of time to get the attraction. There's a bit of conflict, but it's a slow but fast pace sort of romance in mine. Again, I didn't want to do that enemy to lovers. I wanted to almost like, because he's quite a compassionate character, he's quite funny, he's sort of your lad next door kind of character. He's not your typical sort of fantasy romance
Yeah.
character sort of bit. Yeah, he's not a bad boy. He definitely can't be a bad boy. How about yours?
So I have a little tiny bit of romance, but I never really go quite heavy in book one. That is what I'm finding. Um, so like I've got Still Princess, and then I don't actually have a copy of it yet, so I've just got the poster, the cover for book two.
Wow, that looks
Um,
really nice.
Thanks. That's what I'm gonna have on the table and stuff. Um, so I've got the romance between the two characters will definitely like build up in book two. Um, because this one kind of goes off in two different storylines a little bit. Like, you've got Silver who goes off and does like the futuristic stuff, and then you've got Eden. He goes off on the like mini pirate adventure, and Silver meets Elijah in book one, but she develops the romance with him in book two, and then Eden gets his own little romance as well. And the girl behind the glass is the same. It's kind of um, not very heavy like in book one, but it'll probably grow through a series.
Oh, I love that cover.
Yeah, that's really
Thank
nice. It's like a complete contrast to the other one,
Yeah.
the other
I
series,
like
which is
I
lovely.
think they're kind of like similar but different, if you know what I mean. Just
Yeah.
kind of was really good.
Yeah. Did you use the same cover designer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's covered in cupcakes, which is a cool name.
Super.
Definitely got very lucky with her.
They remind
Definitely.
me of those Holly Black books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've had that before. I think it's because of the font. I
Yeah.
think
No, it wasn't that one so much. It was the other one with.
oh, still French.
Yeah, that looks very much like one of hers, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
Yeah.
really like it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I got
How
lucky
about
with that.
how about the romance in your book, Rose?
Well, it's set in a world where everyone is born good, and so they can't do anything at all bad. They can't lie, they can't steal, they can't kill. But they all have a mirror twin, which I've just called a mirror, and they can do all the bad things, and they're rather dodgy characters, really. So
Yeah.
obviously, the romance has to be between a good and a mirror.
That sounds really cool.
That sounds
I love
really
that.
good. Yeah.
Like a
So
shadow, Jekyll and
yeah.
Hyde sort of thing.
Yeah,
That's good.
exactly.
So can they step over the mirror or
Oh, it's not a literal mirror. That's
no,
just
no,
what
but
they're called.
yeah. So
It's
can they
like
switch positions like
Um, I'm exploring something like that in one of the books that's not come out yet.
okay, fab.
So
it can
kind
be its
of.
name.
Yeah. But
How
that
many you
sounds
got planned in your series?
5, which is a really
Oh
odd
wow.
number. I can't think of anything to make it 6 yet, but you never know.
Sometimes that's just how it works, isn't it? Like
yeah.
three's not enough, you know. I think I'm gonna have 4 Little Princess.
Yeah, no, I've written 4 in the core, and then I've had to do a 5th one because I had to
Oh,
develop the characters a bit more. And then I just carry on writing.
you just don't want to get away from the world sometimes, do you? It's like you get
Yeah.
stuck.
Whose turn is it to ask questions? I don't know.
Is it me?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It might be you.
So I was going to ask, do any of you have any pets?
Ooh, good
I
question.
don't, I do, but I don't live with him. I have a little dog called Dusty, but he lives with my parents, but I still call him my dog. He's a little Jack Russell. He's so cute. I miss him.
Ah,
Great.
we've got 2 Maine Coon cats who we absolutely adore. That are just they're like having little mini dogs. They follow you everywhere.
Are they really massive?
They're massive. They're like little
I
mini
love them.
lions. Yeah.
They're so cool.
That's so cute.
Yeah. How about you? Do you have any?
I've got a little black and white cat. She's the absolute opposite of Maine Coon. I think she was the run to the litter because she's so tiny. She's kitten size and she's about 5.
No, I think it's your turn, April.
Okay. I was gonna say, did you have any like choice or any about your cover concept? Like, did you choose what it was gonna look like, or did you just let your artist run wild?
Well, I think because
Oh, I'm sure you
I
designed yours.
designed it, I
Yeah.
just kind of had free reign.
It just like kind of just hit my head as soon as I asked the question. I was like, you
Yeah, I mean,
probably are.
I kind of wanted them to look similar. So when they're together, that's kind of
Yeah.
so that's meant to be Cole and that's meant to be Ira. Um, so yeah, they
That's
kind
so
of sit
funny.
well up together on a shelf.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
I should
I
have
don't
thought
know.
that when you said you designed, but I didn't.
No, I just it was a design that sort of came to me, and like
Yeah.
the third one and the fourth one will be like that too, like the two characters.
Uh,
It was quite a strong design in my head, and I kind of just ran with it. Really, to be fair.
it's really nice. Like they kind of go well together.
They look almost 4D. I don't know whether it's just how it looks here, but almost looks like you could just.
Yeah, just I think it's probably like the shadow around it and stuff. I mean, I kind of I drew this and then put it onto Photoshop and sort of layered it up together, and yeah, it's just how it came out really. And I I wanted it to be a bit, quite striking.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they're really pretty. It's nice that you can see the character straight away, so you kind of get an idea of like
What they look
who
like,
you're
yeah.
gonna be.
How about
I
you,
think
Ross?
it's yours.
How did you design yours?
oh, I have no design skills whatsoever. So this was a designer that works with my publisher, and
Oh,
she's in Minnesota, and her what name of her business is Redbird Designs, and I want something to be really simple and striking, as I think that's the most effective. So I gave her a brief, and she just produced magic from like a few words, like, "Oh, there's the spiders, and there's a princess, and there's some snakes and fights and stuff," and then she made that. So skill,
are you happy with it?
I love it. Yeah, I think they're
It's really
fantastic.
pretty.
What
Yeah.
about yours?
Yeah. Um, no, I kind of told her what I wanted, and then she just went off and came up with the ideas. Um, so she came up with the castle, which I really liked, and I like how like colourful it is at the top. I
Yeah,
think she
that is
painted
very.
it first and then put it on Photoshop or whatever she used, and but then I did get a little bit of a say in this one because it kind of follows the same idea. So I have a siren palace in this one. So instead of this being like the Steel City or the Robot Kingdom, this one is actually the Siren Kingdom
Yeah.
or Palace. So and then she kind of went with the same sort of things with that one, but with like flowers and water
Yeah, they're
instead of
beautiful. They're really
paint.
nice. Do you have a idea on your second cover on your book, Ros, then, if you've got a series going?
I don't actually, because the second book doesn't have any particularly cool tangible objects.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I've given her a brief for that one. I don't know what she'll do because there's nothing really to work with. I've seen the third one, which is really lovely, but I mean, there's very little that she can do, but I'm sure she'll do something ingenious. There's no exciting weapons. There's no cool animals.
No.
Yeah, I'm sort of
But
half
you might
thinking to
want
go back and write
quickly.
something so she has something to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you written them all yet then? Oh, like you've got the third one written, I'm guessing, or fourth?
Yeah, they're all written. Yeah,
Oh, they're all okay. Yeah.
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 The second one comes out autumn sometime this year, and the third one is out in spring next year.
Oh.
Oh, okay. That's very
How,
exciting.
how, how did you write them back to back, or how did you write them?
I did something really stupid and I wrote the third one first. Then I wrote the first one second. Then I wrote the second one fourth.
Wow, how did you
Yeah.
That
manage
sounds
that?
chaotic.
I don't know. Wouldn't recommend it.
How
No.
did you sleep? Did you sleep?
Burley. No. I don't know. I think the first one was meant to be a standalone, and one of my readers said, "Do you not want to write more in the series?" I said, "No, definitely not. What would I possibly do with
Yeah.
this series?" Then I thought, actually, there's two characters who need a backstory, so I went and wrote that, which became the first book.
Got you.
And
Okay.
then there's more characters who needed more stories, and then it just kind of somehow it worked, and you can't see where it joins. I don't know how.
No. Wow.
I mean,
Ha,
if it works, it works.
yeah.
I definitely
Have
don't want to do it again.
you would or you wouldn't?
No, never again. I'm going to write series chronologically next time.
And plan it all out, chapter to
Yes.
chapter.
Do you find you have to write in order, April?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be that's one of my questions actually. I used to be a pantser, is it what they call it? Whether you write by the seat of your pants, I think is the expression. Where you just don't plan at all. And I used to do you know NaNoWriMo or National Novel Writing Mum? Um it's had a bit of a reputation recently. So if you look it up you might find a rabbit hole of people boycotting it. But basically it's National Novel Writing Month and a lot of the authors use it to get books written really quickly because it's like you write 50,000 words in a month and you win the challenge. And there's a website and you can record your progress. And I think it's like a charity sort of thing. It's run by, and you can donate, they want you to donate and stuff. But yeah, there's a whole rabbit hole about them. But that's another video altogether. Um, but yeah, I lost what I was saying.
So it's
Planning versus not planning.
planning your series.
Planning, yeah, planning. Okay, so because I was doing the quick writing, I wasn't really planning that much. But now I tend to like plan a lot more and then write a bit and then plan and then write and so
Yeah.
on. And then like I'm writing the sequel to this one right now,
Yeah.
Girl Behind the Glass, and I've planned out every chapter for that. So I've not done that
Oh,
before. It might change obviously as I write it, but
yeah.
I'm trying to stick to it and be good, be sensible.
Because
So,
I found as I've started to write, my process has changed because I used to in the beginning plan it out meticulously, and now I
mm,
almost just let it flow. And I was doing a bit like what Ros was doing. I was writing book 5 whilst I was writing book 4. And
yeah,
like at the moment, I've got like another series on the go, and I'm sort of working my way backwards now because I started writing and I
yeah,
was like, no, I need to sort of set it a bit more. And then like sometimes I write the beginning, jump to the middle or the end, and
yeah.
I kind of quite
I
like
can
the
do that.
process
That will hurt
now.
my head. With me, I just
No,
have to,
yeah.
with all
Uh,
the stress that the not planning gave me, I think, like this book, I probably should have planned it a lot more because it was a bit of a nightmare to end. But yeah,
I,
we'll
I
hope it
think
works.
we've I think we've got I don't know, about 5 minutes left. One of my last questions, and I think it's quite a good one, is what are we most looking forward to at Yalc? So, April, what are
I
you looking forward to?
I think the whole like little community side of it, like meeting other authors like yourselves, because that's what I've done at previous events. Like I've done a couple of lit fests, one in Hartford, Hearts Book Fest, and one in Milton Keynes, which is where I live. Um, and I've always had other authors that I've shared at the table with. One of those was the friend Roxy that I mentioned earlier on, and another Ali Aldridge, who's lovely. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to that like little community side of it, so we can all go around to each other's tables and help each other out, but also meeting lots of new potential readers and just being at Yale as an
Yeah,
author is gonna make I'm probably gonna freak out a bit because I've been going for years. Like
super.
I love it. But
What are you
yeah.
looking forward to, Roz?
Well, it's the first one I've ever done. I don't think I've ever been to a book festival at all. Certainly not one as an author. So I'm just looking forward to pushing myself out of my comfort zone because I'm quite an introverted person. I quite like staying at home with a book. And
Mhm.
to meet a lot of people and be surrounded by cool people, it'll be really exciting and really new. And yeah, looking forward to being part of that community
Yeah.
and meeting yourselves in person. That'll be lovely.
Yeah,
Be
it's
good.
my first event ever too, so I'm just
Um,
looking forward to, like you said, just kind of almost pushing yourself out there and really just chatting about something that, I mean, I've loved reading since I was a teenager, just and to be there as an author is, I think it's going to be an amazing opportunity.
yeah. And
Yeah,
it's like the event of the year that you could go to as a YA author, really, isn't it?
yeah,
It's like
yeah. So no,
the biggest in the country.
it's really good. But yeah, no, very very, very excited.
But yeah, I think we're gonna run out of time. Um, thank you to everybody for watching us, and hopefully we'll see you at Yalc.